the day I finally told my family what happened to me. I expected screaming, crying, maybe even someone punching a wall. Instead, I got a weird silence, like I'd just announced I was changing my hair color. So, a little background first. I'm the youngest of three from my dad's second marriage. We were this perfect, chaotic family portrait until my dad got sick. Cancer. It was this slow, horrible tide that just kept coming in. And right in the middle of that chaos, when I was 7, my half-brother, my dad's son from his first marriage, he was 26. He hurt me. He stole something from me that I didn't even have words for yet. But here's the thing about trauma when you're that young. You don't process it like an adult. You just file it away. You put it in a box in the back of your mind because the front of your mind is too busy watching your hero, your dad, disappear a little more each day. I remember the smell of the hospital more than anything. That weird, clean, sterile smell that somehow still feels dirty. And 3 months after my half-brother did what he did, my dad passed away. So that box in my head, it got taped shut, locked, and buried under a mountain of grief. For 15 years, I barely touched it. I know this is a heavy place to start, but if you're new to Anonymous Confessions, we share real, raw stories like this all the time. If you're ready to listen, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what happens next. I finally opened that box when I was 22. I don't know what triggered it. Maybe it was seeing a little girl at a park who looked just like me at that age. But the memories came flooding back, not like a movie, but like I was drowning in them. The weight of his hand on my shoulder, the specific cheap cologne he wore, the way the carpet felt rough against my cheek. I couldn't breathe. So I told my mom. I sat her down at her kitchen table, the same table where we'd had 1,000 cups of coffee. My hands were shaking so bad, I had to put my mug down. And I told her everything. I expected her to crumble, to rage, to do something. She just nodded. She said she believed me. She said it must have been hard. And then she said, "But honey, he had a really bad drug problem back then, and family is family. If you're not healed enough to be around him, well, that's on you." That's on you. Those 3 words hit me harder than the actual assault ever did. I thought maybe I was overreacting. Maybe they just needed time. So I tried to move on. I threw myself into being the perfect daughter, the perfect aunt. Years passed, and then came my niece's first birthday, my sister's daughter. I was so excited. I spent weeks looking for the perfect unicorn decorations. I ordered this amazing cake from a local bakery, rainbow inside, the whole 9 yards. I was at my sister's house a few days before the party helping her stuff goodie bags, and she gets this weird look on her face. "So," she says, not looking at me, "I just wanted to give you a heads up. I invited him to the party." She still wouldn't say his name. "I mean, he probably won't even come, but I didn't want to blindside you. If you're too uncomfortable to be around him, I'd totally understand if you had to leave." I just froze. My hands were full of these little plastic toys. I remember thinking, I bought the cake, I'm the one who decorated, and I'm the one who has to leave? I just thanked her for telling me, walked out to my car, and sat there for an hour crying. He never did show up, by the way, so to my sister, the problem was solved. She invited him, he didn't come, so what was the big deal? It was like she couldn't see that the act of inviting him was the wound itself. For years after that, it was this slow, agonizing war of attrition. Every holiday, every family gathering, it was the same unspoken question. Is he going to be here? And if he is, what am I supposed to do? My brother, my full brother, not the half-brother, he actually did cut contact with the guy. And for a while, I felt like I had an ally. Finally, someone who got it. Finally, someone who looked at that monster and chose me. It gave me hope. Then, a few months ago, it all boiled over. My sister and I got into this massive argument. I can't even remember what started it, but it ended with me finally saying what I'd been holding in for years. I said, "You keep picking a pedophile over your own sister, and you won't even tell me why. Why is he more important than what he did to me?" She just got defensive, said I was being dramatic, said I was trying to control who she could and couldn't have in her life. So I did it. I put my foot down. I looked her in the eye and said, "Then I don't want you in my life either. If you can't value me more than the man who sexually assaulted me, then we're done." And for a minute, it felt powerful. It felt like justice, but I should have known it was too good to be true. A few months later, I get a text from my mom. "Family meeting at my house, 7 p.m. Important." My heart sank. I walked in, and there they were. My mom, my brother, and my sister. They all looked so serious. My mom asked me to sit down. She took a deep breath and said, "Look, we need you to let this fight with your sister go. We need you to apologize." I just stared at her. Apologize for what? For being hurt that she invited my abuser to a party? My brother shifted in his seat. He wouldn't look at me. And then my mom said something that broke me in a way I didn't know was possible. She said, "You need to understand, it's really hard to cut off family. It's painful. The only reason your brother cut contact with him was because of how much it hurt me to know what happened to you." Wait, go back, read that again. The only reason he cut him off wasn't because of my pain. It was because of our mom's pain about my pain. It felt like the air was sucked out of the room. I looked at my brother and he just nodded. He confirmed it. He didn't do it for me. He did it because seeing our mom cry was too hard for him. My trauma was just the backdrop for their feelings. It was the thing that made them sad. My pain wasn't the point. Their comfort was the point. My mom kept going. She said I was being selfish, that it was silly of me to expect my sister to have to choose between me and him. She said I wasn't thinking about the awkward position I'd put the whole family in by telling them about the SA in the first place. By telling them about the crime committed against me as a child, I was the one who made things awkward? This is the kind of story that just makes your blood run cold, right? If you're feeling for this woman, if you've ever been made to feel like the villain for telling the truth, smash that like button right now. And if you have your own story of family betrayal, I want you to share it in the comments. You are not alone. I just sat there. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just felt this cold numbness wash over me. I looked at my sister, and she had this little smirk on her face, like she'd finally won. My brother looked relieved, like he'd gotten a weight off his chest. And my mom, she looked at me like I was a problem she needed to solve. So I asked them the same question I'm going to ask you. I said, "So you're telling me that expecting the people who claim to love me to pick my side against the man who sexually assaulted me as a child makes me the asshole?" The silence was deafening. My mom just said, "We're not saying that. We're saying you need to think about the family." And that's when I realized I didn't have a family anymore. I had a group of people who shared my DNA, but they weren't my family. My family wouldn't ask me to apologize for being assaulted. My family wouldn't tell me my pain was an inconvenience. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I stood up. I looked at each of them one last time. I looked at my brother, the one I thought was my ally, and I said, "I hope Mom's tears keep you warm at night." I looked at my sister and I said, "I hope he never finds a new little girl to be family with." And I looked at my mom and I just shook my head. I didn't have words for her. I walked out. I didn't slam the door. I just closed it quietly behind me, and I haven't spoken to them since. It's been 6 months. Sometimes late at night, I wonder if I'm the crazy one, if I'm the selfish one. They make you feel so small, so unreasonable for just wanting to be safe, for just wanting to be chosen, for once, just chosen over the monster. But then I remember the feeling of that carpet on my face. I remember the smell of his cologne, and I remember that the people who were supposed to protect me, the people I told, they handed me a pamphlet on family unity and told me to get over it. So I'm asking you, the people of Anonymous Confessions, was I wrong? Have you ever had to cut off your entire family just to save yourself? Let me know in the comments below. And if this story touched you, if it made you feel seen or angry or anything at all, please subscribe and share it, because everyone needs to know that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. So that's my story. That's the night I finally understood that love isn't always enough, and that family is just a word. And honestly, that's where it all ended.